And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, rock cod Rick Maxa, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and we're in the mighty 1090 studios with our good buddy Cory Sanden from MC Swimbaits. Going to have a great show talking bass fishing today, both fresh and saltwater, and a lot more. We'll talk some tuna, too. You stay tuned. Southern California's sport fishing voices. Let's Talk Hookup, mighty 1090. The bluefin are abundant this year, but getting them to bite is another story. But if you're willing to chase them, there's an opportunity to land the catch of a lifetime. Now, getting the deal of a lifetime on a new Ford is much less effort because the gigantic summer sales event is going on now at your San Diego County Ford dealer. Choose from a great selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs and save big on interest charges with 0 APR long-term financing. On top of that, your Ford dealer will give you an additional bonus for your qualified trade. This special offer is available to anyone who gets approved through Ford Motor Credit. You'll also find great deals on new Ford Super Duty, Motor Trend Magazine's 2017 Truck of the Year. So why chase deals all over town when you can land the deal of a lifetime on the new Ford, car, truck, or SUV you've always wanted during the Ford Summer Sales Event? Stop by any San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up. Learn more at buyfordnow.com.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Landa.
Ranch is small, it's very personal, very intimate. I don't think there's anywhere else that you could have the old Baja feel and have all those miles of beachfront, the palapa roofs and the stone walls. There's not a room that you don't have some kind of ocean view. You don't give up any amenities at the ranch. It's just very rustic. You know how when you cook outdoors it tastes better? Well, that's Rancho Landa. It just tastes better. We have paddle boards, we've got kayaks, we've got snorkeling equipment, of course. We've got 12 super pongas. We have dive ships. We've got over 40 kayaks at the hotel. We've got all accurate equipment, very top of the line. And when the fishing's good, we'll freeze your fish, pack it all up, send it home with you. People love it. They'll come back 5-6 times a year. That's the highest accolade we can get. 1-800-646-2252, 646-BAHA. And RanchoLandAero.com. It's unique.
A few years ago, Shimano introduced the Tranx 500 reel, and it changed the way we cast for big fish. Now, by popular demand, Shimano has created 2 new sizes. Introducing the Tranx 300 and 400, available now at your local Shimano dealer. Tranx is the dream reel for throwing big baits and catching big fish. X-Ship and HEG technologies combine to provide massive cranking power with a smooth, effortless retrieve. Plus, Shimano's new Core Protect water-resistant technology provides long-lasting durability in the harshest environment. The new Tranx 300 and 400 are available in 2 gear ratios and 2 different handle designs to cover all fresh and saltwater applications. See the new Tranx 300 and 400 at your local Shimano dealer. Tranx, it's not just a new reel, it's a way to fish. Check Shimano.com for all the details.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Going to be a great show with Cory today.
Cory Sanden, good morning.
Good morning. Nice
Cory?
to be here.
Oh, great to have you, man. We've been, since you got here this morning, 20 minutes ago or so, we've just been jabbering about fishing, calico fishing, largemouth bass fishing, just all kinds of stuff. We still haven't covered it, man. There's all kinds of good fishing going on, right?
Yeah, there is. You know, and it's that time of the year where there's so much going on. If you're Southern California, we're thankful to have had some rain this last year, and the lakes have filled up, and weedless style fishing through the trees and the junk, and just
cool.
Getting the bites that way, and having our anchovies back with the kelp coming back, and some good calico fishing.
Anchovies are magic.
It's that ingredient in the system there that really. I mean, it brings the mackerel. It brings, You're old enough, Pete, to remember the brown bait, queenfish, and pompano.
There was, I went out Wednesday, the kelp, and there was a bunch of brown bait mixed in with the anchovy.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. Some of those older guys, there may be people in their 20s that don't even know what the heck we're talking about, but, half-day fishing with brown bait and queenfish and that stuff mixed in with the little pinhead anchovies, and you couldn't really pin one of those little anchovies on, but man, you got the brown bait and it was like game on.
Magic. Yeah.
That's cool.
Hey, before we move on to talking calico fishing, let's go up to Katmai Lodge, where I'll be 1 week from today, and talk to our good buddy Jeff Top, standing by, getting ready to head out on the river. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, guys. How we doing?
Hey, doing terrific. All right, 1 week from today, we'll be landing on that gravel runway right in front of Katmai and ready to go fishing. Can't wait.
Yeah, man, your timing's going to be just right. After I talked to you guys on Tuesday of this week, the floodgates opened.
Fantastic.
Nice, right on.
Salmon just started pouring in, man. It was unbelievable the amount of salmon we have in the river, and just in a few days' time. The sockeye have been going past our lodge 6 to 10 wide for 48 hours straight, not a break in the stream.
Wow.
That.
And how long does that usually last, Jeff?
It'll be a 2-week deal usually.
Yeah.
Maybe a little longer, even maybe 3 weeks. It's a pretty amazing thing to watch. If you ever have a chance to come up and just to see that massive fish just swimming by you all day long, and it doesn't stop. It hasn't stopped in 2 days.
Wow. Pretty amazing. Yeah, I've seen it, as you know, from last year. We were there, and it's just, you can stand up at the lodge and watch these masses of fish just moving through, and then you go catch your limit and then move on to giant king salmon or huge trout fishing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we've had a few guys out just king salmon fishing the last few days, and then everybody's been getting them. I mean, it's really a really good start to our run. If it continues the way it is starting, if it continues the rest of the run, it's going to be one of the finest salmon seasons I've seen in over 20 years up here. So it's shaping up right, that's for sure.
Loving it.
That's awesome.
And we had,
water levels are good, and trout are biting.
Yeah, our water levels are low, real low, but our trout don't seem to be too worried about it. We had our fry hatch come off, all of our small salmon fry leaving the river, and they were on that for quite a while. It was hard to get them to come up to a mouse, and just kind of probably in the last 2 or 3 days now, guys are talking about getting them all on the surface now and fishing poppers and fishing mice, and it looks like they've kind of gone off that minnow feed spawn now, and the trout are putting on the feed bags. You can almost watch them grow this time of year.
Yeah, and that mouse fishing it's like surface iron fishing. It's just, there's nothing like it.
So cool.
Watching a big 25-plus inch trout come up and gobble that thing. They have big mouths.
It's crazy, too. I've got some mice with foam on the back that the rainbows are just about eating the foam right off of it from just from so many bites in 1 day's time. It's like you never think you could wear a mouse out, but up here with the spin, we've been wearing them out. It's been unbelievable.
Wow, fantastic.
When you're talking about trout that are the size of white sea bass and legal barracuda, man,
Yeah.
that's
Big
pretty
trout.
cool, bro. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're all native, pull incredibly hard, and the crazy thing is you're either catching them on spin gear or fly rod. It's just a pretty epic place.
That's awesome.
Well, can't wait, Jeff. Looking forward to seeing you next Saturday. And in the meantime, are there spots available? There's lots of season coming up here for Katmai Lodge. Anything available for this year?
We do have a few spots available in late July and early August. We've always got room for a couple, but big groups we might have a little trouble with, putting together for this year. We're always willing to work on it for next year. But we're filling up quick. So if anybody wants to get up here this summer, and with the salmon fishing doing what it's doing, and what I'm seeing with the trout right now, if you can get up here and do it, you don't want to miss out. Because I'm looking at a salmon run right now that's pretty amazing, pretty impressive. It's been a long time since I've watched sockeyes after sockeyes just pour by the lodge for 2-3 days straight. So it's a pretty exciting time. So if anybody wants to get out, give us a shout out. The 800 number or at katmai.com, and we'll get you out tomorrow if you want to come out. No big deal.
All right, very good. All right, Jeff Top calling us live from Katmai Lodge via satellite phone. I'll see you next Saturday.
Hey, looking forward to it, Pete. You guys have a great week, and keep catching them out.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate that very much. Yeah,
see you guys.
That gets you a little bit fired up.
I'm fired up.
Mouse fishing?
Yeah,
that sounds like a little bit of fun.
Oh my gosh, you talk about like the Cory, Sanden, MC Weedless. It's kind of like that, you know, and topwater stuff. Just seeing them just boil on it. It's just.
Is that something that goes on through like the next couple months?
Well, interestingly enough, the mouse fishing is right now, you know, and then once those fish start spawning, it turns to bead fishing. Basically, they're eating eggs. Yeah, okay. So they get off. And then you can still get a bite on the mouse, but it gets on the bead, and it's hard to compete when there's millions and millions of eggs, and they're gorging on eggs that they want to eat those eggs.
Unlimited free food source that they don't have to work for. They don't want to chase down a mouse anymore.
Right. So right now, the salmon are just moving the river. They're moving up, and what happens is the sockeye move about 70 miles from the lodge, about 70 miles past the lodge, up the river into the upper lake. So that's why the trout fishing in August and actually it starts like the first week in August and all the way through. You do these flyouts with their Katmai Lodge float plane up to the upper rivers, and then that's where you see the sight fishing for these giants up there.
Incredible.
That's so rad, man.
Among the bears and everything like that. But so this time of the year is kind of the mouse fishing, which is
that's what you're going for.
Pretty dynamic. I mean,
cool.
Not to say that sight fishing to 30-inch trout isn't pretty dynamic itself.
Get out of here.
But the mouse fishing is just such a visual thing because we're so into surface iron and calico bass fishing with the Cory, MC Weedless and stuff like that. It's kind of like that, but it's trout.
You're gonna have to have Cory make you a weedless mouse and take a bass rod.
I'm all.
How cool would that be?
Right? Do that, right? Come on, yeah, for sure.
Cory will put a big gaff hook into it. We'll go fire that thing around, no problem, man.
Oh yeah. Well, speaking of freshwater destinations, you just returned Thursday evening from Lake El Salto.
Fished the morning, was home for dinner.
Oh, that's so cool.
Really?
That's so cool.
Yeah. And
so
how was it?
I'll tell you, I think you still have a spot open. And I'll tell you.
On our February trip.
It is the most incredible trip of your life. I mean, they on their shirts, they wear the slogan, "Service is our focus." And seriously, I mean, it's... You go down with 100% in mind that you want to fish and be a part of this incredible bass fishery, which it is, and it's absolutely insane. Multiple 6s and 7s and 8s, and a lot of people catch 10 plus, But by the time you leave, you're so relaxed that you realize the fishing was truly like 60% of it,
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's just a really incredible trip and
sights to see there,
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
pretty easy to get to, right?
Really,
through the Tijuana Bridge.
I'll tell you, that's really what sparked me. Ryan Bastian on the San Diego, he called me and just said the frog fishing was epic and you got to go. And 2 years ago, prior to that, it didn't excite me going through Tijuana and being,
it's the hassle factor.
Part of the food chain, really. I felt like I was, going through part of Tijuana. You know what I mean? But with that CBX crossing, you literally, there's nobody using it. You
don't see it.
You pay $15 and you go on a bridge and you drop into the terminal, and I'm sure that's what you're doing on your trip. Let me tell you, it is the coolest thing ever.
Oh, it's great.
Ever.
And Cory, you're the same as I know a lot of people out there. A lot of people have that exact same hesitation that you do right now, as did I before I did it. I'm like, I don't think I want to try going to Mexico and flying out of there. You just wouldn't. By somebody who has absolutely no bias, you can't believe how easy and safe and just regular it is.
Well,
I mean, it's.
I was telling Pete that I'm probably the most cautious, I want to know what's going on kind of guy. Let me tell you, it is so simple, so easy.
Very simple.
It is. And flying out of Valeris, let me tell you, they are more professional than most of our airlines here.
They
Seriously.
are very, very good. And you flew into Culiacan. How much was your round-trip ticket on Valeris to Culiacan?
You're going to flip your lid. It was $100 round trip.
Round trip, $100.
Round trip.
How about that?
Pretty crazy.
With extra leg room and
all that stuff.
$100.
Yeah. and Tijuana Airport's a very clean airport. Culiacan, I haven't been, but you said it's a very clean airport.
Very clean and nice, and it just the people are part of the airlines are super professional. I mean, beyond.
I went down there, same deal. I went with Dallas the first time. She didn't know one thing or another, and get a Starbucks and a Subway before you leave. I mean, it's as regular as any airport you'd want to go into. Plenty easy to deal with, and like say $15, you're over the bridge and boom, you're gone.
Yeah, Tijuana's nice. The Mazatlan Airport's nice. Culiacan's
awesome,
nice. In 2 years, I'm making my 4th trip in November, and let me tell you, the most I've paid for an airline ticket is $100 one way.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Pretty awesome. And I posted one of the pictures with you and Brandon this morning on our Facebook as well as our Instagram page. You if check it out go to letstalkhookup.com if you haven't already. Liked us on Facebook and Instagram. On the top right corner, you'll see our social media links. Just click on that. You'll see it. How bigger were your big ones?
Well, when you look at that picture of Brandon, that was a total average fish, like a 4 to 5 pound fish. I would say 3 to 5 pounds was kind of like the average.
An every day.
Seriously, I mean, over the 5.5 days of fishing, we had over 400, maybe 450 fish. We had several 8.5 pounders. That's legit.
My gosh.
Legit on a scale.
On a scale.
And I would say that only 3 to 5 fish a day were on a 10XD, which is super deep. We had maybe 20 fish a day on like a medium dive crank, like a Rapala 16, foot, and a DT 16 Rapala. And the rest of them were all topwater. Frog fishing, Zara spook, the weedless swim bait, literally, they're chasing bait up and down the bank, the tilapia, 4 to 6 inch tilapia. Like Shamu chasing sea lions.
No way.
You throw the weedless literally on the bank, pull it in the water.
Like in the dirt.
Like seriously, if you miss the edge of the bank by 2 foot, you kind of missed the bite.
Really?
So you would literally throw it on the bank, bring it in the water, and it was just, I mean, you can imagine.
They're just right on the shoreline.
Like pushing hard, yeah.
Wow. How exciting is that?
That's so cool.
So your trip, I mean, that's...
Yeah,
that
February.
One spot
left.
One
spot left. You want to go, Corey?
I'm telling you.
Cast Tours. Call Castman. Grab that last spot on our
sold,
trip in February. Yeah, it's a great spot. So let's talk about local fishing. MC Swimbaits.
The calico fishing?
Yeah.
It is. I'll tell you, it's so beautiful to see the lower water temperatures this last winter and spring and now. It's not cooking 80 degrees and the high 70s, and we actually hit below 60 degrees this winter, 58, 56 degrees, and the kelp growing back, and it might take
but not like I thought. I mean, the kelp is not what it should be, but it's coming back.
It is coming back very strong, but what you have to remember is, like when the kelp gets really thick, that outer edge blocks the current. It kind of cushions and takes the blow of the current, and leaves the rest of the inside stuff up. And so when it's kind of scraggly and it's half there, the front wall gets knocked down and the rest of it gets knocked down. So there are times where it's up and it's beautiful and nice, but when you get a strong current, it's down. It's there and it's very strong. And
strong current is what you want when you're fishing calico, right?
It is, definitely. Current's key.
Yeah.
And like IB, you don't see the kelp. Because, and I heard you talking about it on an earlier show, I think it was with Fred.
Yeah.
Okay, and that kelp down there is all cobblestone growth. Like it's all out of the river mouth. All that hard bottom is cobblestone. Whether it's as big as baseball or whether it's as big as a basketball, it's all cobblestone. So when that just takes root on the cobblestone and you get a little bit of swell, it rolls it over and it's gone.
So it takes a while to bring it back.
It does, yes.
Yeah.
Where the stuff off like La Jolla, Point Loma, Palos Verdes, and beyond, it's on such hard substrate that it doesn't move, right?
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought of that because that's right where the Tijuana River comes
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, so
and
all that's cobblestone.
And from fishing bait, for 12 years, I know that whole area very, very well.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the most underrated jobs in this industry, truly.
Oh, working for the Everingham brothers?
Buck Everingham.
Are you kidding me?
And what they do.
Oh,
seriously.
My gosh. The time and hours that those guys spend.
I mean, you got to give them a plug, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can pull up and pay $40 or $50 for the bait you need for the day.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's gone in behind the scenes to make that happen. Seriously.
You think about not just catching the bait, not just finding the bait, but maintaining that bait in those receivers. Think about the maintenance issues.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
When you're out fishing and you have problems with sea lions, you have no idea.
Oh, my God, I'll bet.
You have no idea the kind of mayhem and damage they do to the receivers daily.
Yeah,
I mean, they're smart enough that they can push the boards in and get to them. Their natural feeding pattern is to blow bubbles and corral the bait, like you see the whales do with a herring, right?
Right.
Okay, so they've gotten smart enough. They blow the bubbles underneath the box and blow the sardine out the sides. I mean, it's really mayhemish, you know?
Yeah, and those guys are just so good at just dealing with all the different. Not only that, the cormorants and the pelicans and the seagulls and all the stuff that they have to deal with every day on that bait barge.
It truly is one of the most underrated jobs. Yeah. Like that's a key ingredient in everything that takes place, from your half-day fishing, three-quarter day, overnight, all the way to the RP and a 16-day trip.
Yeah, we don't think about it because it's so consistent. You know, I mean, it's always there. There's never a time when you need bait and you can't pull up to the receiver and here you go, you know. And think about all the mechanics that go into catching it.
Seriously.
Planes and boats and crew and people and dark and light, and the bait's only up at this time of day, so we gotta make our sets at midnight because that's the only time it's in an area where it can be caught.
But you were out the morning before at 6 a.m.
That's
and
it.
Couldn't make it, so you're out at midnight, and truly their lives are from day to day, not knowing what their hours will be tomorrow or the next day. I lived it, trust me.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
How long did you work for everyone?
For 12 years.
For 12 years?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. As a kid, in high school, I worked on the receivers for like 3 years, and then out of high school, immediately, my college degree was hopping on the bait boat.
Yeah.
And so I was on the bait boat for 12 years. I worked with Joe Machado for 7 years on the EBCO, and then 5 years on the catch-a-lot. So I lived it. And in fact, when I started there, it's a pretty neat story. We pulled net by hand.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
On the Susan Jean and the new cow. And it's called a lump.
You had some buff arms.
Well, yeah, right. Unlike now. So they kind of like they call it a lumpara net, and it's all done by hand. And there was a crew of 3 pulling the net by hand.
I had no idea.
Let me tell you,
that's a cool story.
Sometimes 7-8 sets a day.
A day.
Doing by
that's
hand.
Hard work.
It was, yeah,
for sure. And also, when you go up to the bait barge, you got to think about this. You hand them, $50 or whatever. Think about all the labor and everything else. And think about those guys also, Henry and the whole gang there, living on that barge day and night. They live on that barge day and
literally.
Night. So take care of those guys over there.
And you know what?
Yeah.
The alternative, you could go catch your bait with a sabiki rig. Yeah. Okay, number one, you have the thought of whether you're going to get it or not, number one. Number two, if you only want to spend an hour and catch 12 or 15 pieces of bait.
Exactly.
Okay. Maybe all you need, it might take over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Think about what you're paying and what your hour's worth.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, so speaking of bait, when you go calico fishing, like you set me up down at Cedros with that new smaller weedless, that's a cool bait.
Well, it's for the lack of a better term, I call them swimmers, and so there's a brand new 4-inch that's out at East County.
For fresh or saltwater.
It is, totally, yeah. It would be good for spotties and stuff like that. So there's a 4-inch, actually there's a 3-inch, which they have at Fisherman's and at Dana and East County, everywhere. 3-inch, 4-inch, there was a 5-inch, and now a 6-inch, which you took down to Cedros. And the 6-inch, I mean, all of them look like a mirrored image, but they're all different increments. And they have fins and all anatomically correct, but the price point is like super, super friendly.
Yeah.
Like the 4-incher, that 99 cents. The 5-incher, like $1.69. The 6-inch, which is a beautiful full-bodied bait, they're roughly $3. It might be like $2.89 to.
And they last.
They're very durable.
Very durable.
Totally.
And let's talk about the Viejos, man. I absolutely crushed the calicos on that.
Yeah.
Was that 9-inch Viejo?
The long,
one?
skinny.
Yeah.
There's a 5, a 7, and a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the 7 and the 9s, if you're going down to Cedros sport fishing, take those with you.
Well, and the beauty of it, Pete, what I hear from everybody, and I forgot to relay to you, is a lot of the guys love that 7-inch because the profile's beautiful and you can catch fish and you get bit. Well, when it gets torn up in the first inch or two, you can cut it off.
Totally, man.
And now you're starting over with a 5.5, 6-inch bait.
Right. Same with the 9-inch, right?
Well, you could do that too.
Yeah.
I think the 7-inch is probably
the in-between,
cost-wise and most friendly and getting bites.
I like the
7-inch.
The getting bites thing is what I like too, because you're still fishing a big profile lure that for sure will get a big fish bite. I mean, it's a great one. It's a 7-inch, MC swim bait, but it's not so. I mean, you would be shocked at how small of a fish will still eat that. I mean, you catch you hook a 12-incher. You're not fishing a bait that's so big you're keeping yourself from getting bites.
And I think the most misconception of the whole deal is you have a lead head with the hook all the way up the front, and people kind of freak out and I need a trailer, I need all this, but they go right for that head.
Yeah,
man.
Totally.
By the time they're 12 inches, they've learned how to eat a bait, and it's not from the tail end.
No, no. A lot of times the long ones, you'd see them all curled up in their mouth because they ate it right on the head.
Exactly.
Yeah, for
Gone.
sure. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you today. Everybody loves talking bass fishing.
You're not kidding.
So we're going to talk about bass fishing and a whole lot more for you today.
With the master having Cory in here talking swim baits, talking fishing, inshore, offshore, the whole nine. We're going to have a great day today and excited to be hanging out with Cory for the next couple hours, and we want to hang out with you. If you want to give us a call this morning and be a part of Let's Talk Hookup, we would love to hear from you, and there's two ways that you can do that. First is with our local line. That's 858 area code 457-1090. Again, 858-457-1090. That's our local number. Or you can call us toll-free. That toll-free line, 877-792-1090. One more time, 877-792-1090. Not only talking fishing, talking MC swim baits, and having a great time today, Cory has given us a couple of awesome prizes and very cool.
Unreal.
Two lucky callers at the end of the show today are each going to win $100 prize packs from MC Swim Baits. Going to have a hat, going to have a shirt, and best part, custom hand-picked lures from Cory himself. You're going to get a full kit, $100 value, and that's going to two lucky callers at the end of the show today. Again, if you want to get your shot at winning that great prize, or much better yet, your chance to ask your questions to the man himself, 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. And when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great info coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Are you feeling that itch to get out on the water? Come fishing on the American Angler and reacquaint yourself with some familiar faces and make new friends. Captain owners Brian Kiyohara and Sam Patella take pride in every aspect of the American Angler operation, from their loyal and trusted crew to the sashimi-grade fresh fish you'll take home. It's easy to find a vacation that fits your schedule. We have everything from day-and-a-half to 10-day trips and longer. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. We want you to become a part of the American Angler family.
Nothing is more exciting than fishing Cedros Island on a Hobie Mirage Drive kayak. And Cedros Kayak Fishing will hook you up on this amazing experience. Cedros Kayak Fishing offers deluxe accommodations in their beautiful secluded casita, with all the comforts you would expect from a high-end resort, including single occupancy rooms and filtered water. Kayak tours are on Hobie Outback kayaks with bait tanks, fish finder, and VHF radios to ensure a great experience. Fly to Cedros and travel light, as Cedros Tackle has a fully outfitted tackle shop, including top-of-the-line rental gear. After a long day on the water, enjoy delicious local cuisine prepared by the staff. Cedros Kayak Adventures also has a fully outfitted panga and off-road truck and trailer to take you to super secluded spots. Fish where the others don't with Cedros Kayak Fishing. Come join Jeff and the gang for a great trip on Cedros Island. Visit the website at cedroskayakfishing.com for more information and to book your trip.
I got a garage full of fishing tackle, and every time I get out on the water, I realize I forgot something important. But I never forget my life jacket. I make sure my buddies wear theirs, too. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
This is Greg Stotesbury from AFCO. For more than 58 years, the American Fishing Tackle Company has been recognized as the premier manufacturer of precision-built offshore fishing tackle. AFCO continues this tradition today with an innovative technical fishing clothing line designed and built by fishermen for fishermen. From our next-generation waterproof shorts like Tactical or Stealth to our new anhydrous waterproof jacket and bib, bibs, the entire AFCO clothing line is purpose-built with the latest AFTEC fabrics and features designed to deliver for the demanding angler. To find AFCO products, go to AFCO.com and find a dealer near you.
Great boats, free parking, and a fully stocked tackle shop. Just a few of the reasons Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top charter boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Eclipse, Apollo, Outer Limits, Pacific Star, El Gato Dos, Alexis, Pride, Privateer, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half, 3/4, and full-day trips available. Check out the full-service tackle store at Seaforth Sport Fishing. And it's all run by fishermen for fishermen. 1717 Quivira Road, just off Mission Bay Drive in Mission Bay. Book online at seaforthlanding.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Pete, you think these guys want to talk to Cory?
Yeah, all the phones are packed, but keep on trying. 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. We're talking bass fishing in the ocean, bass fishing in the lake, bass fishing in the bay, tuna fishing offshore. Whatever you want to talk about, that's what we talk on Let's Talk Hookup.
We'll get to it later, but I want to talk about some halibut fishing because I know there's been some good halibut fishing. And Cory's got all kinds. I know it is, and like Cory's got all kinds of slick tricks for halibut too. Cory's always got things figured out. If it's an inshore fish, like this guy not only has got the ways to catch it, but has also made some killer bait that you probably don't even know exists. And yeah, it's going to be a great show. Again, if you want to be a part of it, 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090.
All right, let's jump into the phones.
You got it. How about we talk to Ed this morning from Mira Mesa? Ed, thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. I have two questions for Cory. One is the use of the warbait, to use with his plastic and that. Does that affect the fall of that? And also, on different colors. I was down at Fisherman's Landing yesterday, and I saw there were quite a few bins that were empty, and I'm just wondering what colors work best out there, for the morning bite and maybe the afternoon bite.
Well, if you were down at Fisherman's and they were empty, that's a good thing.
Yeah, right. I agree.
Keep it coming, Ed. And, I was just down there before I went to El Salto and filled them up, so I don't know if you were down there like in the last week and a half or so, but that does happen, and that's a good thing, and that's just the door turning and turning and turning. But the warbait thing, I'll tell you what you'll notice. If you leave the weed guards on there, which most people do, and they really believe, and I talk about this in seminars and everywhere, they believe that weed guard is like 100% of the weedless factor, okay? Let me explain to you. Whether it's a boxer head, the warhead, or whatever head you're choosing in that style, the eye of the hook all the way forward is 90% of the weedless factor. Trust me. That weed guard,
90%.
I'm telling you, at least 80. Okay, that weed guard is a very small fraction of the weedless factor. Look at the fall with the weed guard on there, and then take it out, which I do. I do with every one of them. Gone.
Just yank it out.
I yank it out. And look at the fall without the weed guard. And I want to hear your perception, because it's night and day.
Really?
When you have the weed guard in there, there's a drag from the front of the bait.
Oh.
Okay, but you're actually utilizing the tail action as the drag from the back of the bait. So when you add drag from both ends of your lure, it's a really funky action. You might not even realize it, honestly. And so without the weed guard and just the drag on the one end of the bait, the tail where it should be, you end up with a much more lifey, a lot of action. It's just a lot more head action and stuff going on. You'll see the difference. Ed.
And what percentage of the bites are coming on the fall, the drop?
Well, that's a lot of them, but a lot of them on the wind too.
Yeah.
You'd
both
be surprised.
without the weed guard, you get a better action even on the wind.
By far.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
You'll notice it. Trust me.
All right.
Yeah, you said the hook eye. What maybe explain that a little farther. What do you mean, like the difference between that and say like a traditional triangle type head?
So where you're tying your line on, the eye of the hook, where you're tying your line on,
tie your knot, yeah.
On a standard lead head, which we've used for years and years and years, traditional like triangle style head, the eye of the hook is halfway back from the nose.
It's like in the middle of the triangle.
So when you're bringing that through the water, whether it's loose grass, surf grass, or whether it's kelp or whatever you're doing, it gets wedged. It comes right down your line as you wind your lure in. It winds it right to the triangle corner you're making,
Yeah.
and you're now hung. So with the eye of the hook all the way forward at the nose of the bait, like a warhead or a boxer head or, that style, now the weeds are, your lure's coming right up and over all the weeds. If it's surf grass, it's going right underneath. And so just
makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
So buy the warhead and just take the weed guard off.
I'm sure Efren cringes every time I
every time you give a seminar.
But if you do a traditional leadhead like we used to, it's not that design, right?
It's not. So just trim a few strands out of there and look at it. I mean, it might be better with just half the amount of strands.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, it's a big difference.
I bet Efren's not cringing too bad if you've already bought it.
You're still
right, exactly.
Maybe it's a half a cringe.
Right, exactly.
Not a full one though.
Indeed. Hey, what's funny is when we did our Islander kayak trip, and Ron Lane went to the Fisherman's Landing Tackle. He had to have Christmas tree MC, and I mean it's like they only bite Christmas tree, right? Well, they bit it all right, yeah, but. Ed was talking about color. It's like, what color are you confident?
Well,
with,
so that
right?
It's all personal preference. If you came and Ed hung out at the booth at the Fred Hall Show, Long Beach, for an hour, you would see 20 guys come up that point to the one that's their favorite, and they can't live without it, and it's all different. Trust me.
That's so funny.
and I would say the key ingredients in a bassy color is the red glitter, which is Christmas tree, or orange bellies, browns. If you have the combination of brown and red glitter and an orange belly of some sorts, it's money.
Hard to miss. Yeah. What's Rock Cod Rick's favorite color?
I don't even know what we call it. We call it the big fish color, BFC. It's like an olive back. You want to know what it is? It's
red glitter.
It's every word that Cory just described.
Yeah.
It's like an olive, olive color,
brown.
so you call it greenish brown, exactly. Greenish brown black. Clear belly with, clear sides with red glitter and an orange belly. It's exactly what he just described.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
Know exactly what you're talking
Tenfold
about.
over, it's my favorite.
Love that one.
And what's my number 2 favorite? It's one that looks like a sardine. It's got like a turquoisey, blue-green back with a brown stripe and a clear belly. I mean, it's all those
More
things.
of a
that Cory
bait fish
described.
pattern.
Yeah, those are my 2 favorites for sure.
There you go. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning. All right, let's find out what's biting the Cast Man.
You got
Richard Castaneda from Cast Tours is on the line.
Standing by. And today, his catch report sponsored in part by Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Fisherman's Processing is San Diego's finest, and that's why they're known as the Fish Pros, because once you try them, you'll be hooked. They'll fillet and vacuum pack your fish to your specs, as well as offer you the best in smoked fish, jerky, and their famous tuna burger. Check fishermansprocessing.com for more details, or you can see them when your trip returns to the San Diego landings.
Cast Man, buenos dias.
What's up, Cass?
Hey, buenos dias. Buenos dias. Hey, Pete, I think we got to get some of those for the El Salto trip.
Oh, yeah. Cory's going to set us up.
Oh,
good times.
Oh, yeah. And you said we had one spot left on that trip?
Yeah, we got one spot, so anybody
it.
wants to join us on that trip, come along, man. It's a blast.
February 10 through 14, right?
Yes.
You get back the evening of Valentine's Day, so you're back just in time to bring flowers home.
Nice.
And take the little woman out to dinner.
There you go.
But anyway, Ricky wouldn't let me look at his tackle box while we were there last year, and I think he had some of those in his box.
Oh, and he's like that,
Yeah. No
yeah, he had
that's my box, Cass.
Yeah. But anyway.
I caught him trying to snoop in there, too, one time.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, listen, the fishing down in Southern Baja remains good. It's not stellar, but it's good. East Cape boats and the San Jose del Cabo boats are concentrating there in that one area there, just south of Fraley's, around the Iman Bank, San Luis Bank, Vinarama area. Still a lot of tuna there, up to about 50, 60 pounds. I think they had one 70-pounder. Also, there's a lot of wahoo swimming around. They just don't want to bite, but when they go on a chew, look out. That's going to happen. Also, big schools of Cubera snapper have invaded the area. Here again, they got lockjaw, and they just haven't decided to go on the chew, but that should really take off. What's really biting is the Huachinango, the red snapper that you see on a lot of the Mexican restaurants. They're a great eating snapper, and they're getting those nice 8 to 10 pounders, and that's really good for that that size fish, great fillets. Bob Castro was down fishing at Palm Cortez this past week with his family, and he said they were finding tuna at 40 miles. Not a lot, but they were, getting them under the porpoise there. 25, 30-pound fish. There's also scattered Dorado Coast rooster fish are along the beaches there, big numbers there. Over in Mazatlan, they've got a good bite there, big combination between sails and striped marlin and a few tuna mixed in. Ixtapas y Guantanejo, really good fishing 12 miles off the beach there. They're finding the blue water there, and combination there on stripers and sails, along with a few tuna and some Dorado. They got a couple of bulls, over 50 pounds. Of course, they're around the Valentine River. There's a lot of roosters, and they're averaging 25 to 30 pound, nice quality size fish. But that's a report for this week. Just once again, we do have one spot for our Lake El Salto trip next February, and also I have spots for 1 to 2 fishermen on our Pesca Panama trip next April 14, I believe 14 to 21. Anybody wants to join us on that trip, it's always fabulous. And we're going prime time tuna, and like I said,
looking forward to that.
Should be crazy. And you got your brother-in-law John going.
Yeah, indeed.
John's awesome.
Indeed, John's going to have fun.
Be nice to fish Panama again now that water conditions are back to the normal. That this El Nino boiling hot water cycle is beyond us. It's going to be really cool to have Panama getting back to the good days.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Nothing like Pesca Panama, right?
That's for sure.
All right, boys. I'll talk to you guys next Saturday.
Thanks, Castman. Appreciate that very much. Always fun traveling with the Castman, no doubt about it. All right, phones are packed. Let's jump into it, Rick.
Every single phone line is full for sure. We're going to jump back into the phones. Let's talk to Gary, calling us from Lawndale. Good morning, Gary. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Gary. Nice to hear from you.
Good morning, Pete, Rick, and Cory. I just wanted to mention that every Fred Hall show I visit your booth, Cory, and I remind you that years ago you gave some slug-style baits to Bob Fletcher. They glow in the dark.
Yes, sir.
And they were the best ones I've seen for lingcod. And I was wondering if you're going to be manufacturing those glow-in-the-dark slugs in the near future.
Yeah, I do for sure. Yeah, I make them often, and this time of the year they're gone because of the Alaska trips. And
gobble them all up.
They do work. I mean, it's amazing. It's such a simple, kind of stupid-looking lure. You try to figure out how in the heck that thing works, but with a lead head on there and drop down in the depths and jigged around, that thing pretty incredible looking, really.
And really tough.
Bob Fletcher took us to school on that one.
Well, that's good. And if you take the same concept and you go to a 4-inch slug because you are talking about an 8-inch, a larger one, but if you go to a 4-inch or 5-inch or 6-inch, and you look at spotted bay bass or halibut fishing in the shallows, it's the same exact concept, just downscaled.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
They like that slug.
It's one of the first things I made.
Really?
Cool.
20 years ago.
Why?
It's just a really functional lure that gets bit very well. It takes clean water is one of the ingredients, and daylight, because it's a visibility thing. It's not a hard thumping, wrenching tail that draws them in, with the vibration. So it takes visibility with the sun, and it takes cleaner water.
Mm-hmm.
And seal the deal. Done.
Most of the bites on the wind, everything on the fall. Do you hop it? Do you, how does one fish it?
I would say like local bass fishing, that kind of thing, it's all in the fall. Okay. Like 99% of it's on the fall. But the halibut, lingcod, like Gary's talking about, local halibut fishing, it's kind of hop and pop it and lift it up, let it fall, lift it up, let it fall kind of thing. And
they jump on it.
Oh,
what size lead head for the halibut?
Yeah, the lighter the better.
Getting the halibut stuff.
I appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, lighter
the better.
Lighter the better. So like a 5-inch slug, like if you go in and talk to Johnny at Dana or Rick at Fisherman's, they could fill you in. But Johnny's really good with it, being right on the bay right there. I would say a 5-inch would be 3/8 to 1/2 ounce and no more.
3/8 to half inch. And what style?
That's a light lead head for
really
a 5-inch bait.
Really light. But you got to imagine, you put a 3/4 on there, it's dropping like a rock.
Yeah.
You use a 3/8, and it's meandering on its way down, searching.
Just a standard lead head?
You could go with that, Efren style or the boxer style.
Yeah.
And
you always like that forward line tie, though.
Yeah.
For everything.
It's better. Mm-hmm. It is. Yeah, it is better all the way around.
Yeah. And for our people up in the L.A. and Orange County, I know probably Longfin would have
Longfin, Save-On, all the major. I'm not in every shop because
you can't do it.
Still today, I'm making every single lure.
You're crazy, by the way. Let's say this right now. You are crazy.
Yeah, he makes every single lure. You pour by hand every single lure
and deliver every single lure. If I have to go to UPS or I'm shipping it, that's one thing. If you see me in at the Longfin filling it in, I mean, it's figure out how many square footage that I have just, for that. Or you go into Fisherman's and you look at all that. I mean, it's not me shipping them to Fisherman's and they're dealing with it. It's me driving down to Fisherman's and cleaning and filling and
putting everyone in the box.
Seriously.
And that's why every MC swim bait looks so good and they all swim perfect and there's no overpour and there's no super. Wow, this color's a little fun. I mean, they're just every time. Because it's Cory. Cory does every one of them.
He's quality control. He's manufacturing.
Shipping.
He's delivery, shipping. I know
research and development.
Janitorial. Hey, great to hear from you, Gary. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more catch reports, more great information. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
All the officers. I'm sick.
When bad weather and rough seas send other boats back to the docks, Seakeeper allows you to fish longer and fish harder, even in the roughest conditions. Don't believe us? Just listen to what Southern California's own Captain Pete Grosbeck says. He says, we're very impressed with the whole operation of the Seakeeper. We live bait a lot. We go slow, which puts us in the trough. And now basically there is no trough. Seakeeper's newest offering, the Seakeeper 3, is optimized to eliminate up to 95% of boat roll on boats between 30 and 39 feet. Even better, the gyro is so small it can fit inside a customized leaning post, bringing installation down to a mere 2 days. To learn more about how Seakeeper can change your life on the water and to schedule your free demo, go to Seakeeper.com. Take a ride. Be amazed. Seakeeper. Have you ever purchased a surface iron or yo-yo jig and soon the paint is almost gone? Happens all the time, but not with Pacific Lures. Their goal to build a jig that looks like bait and lasts. And that is exactly what you get at Pacific Lures. The powder-coated jig body is extremely durable with high-resolution digital imagery of actual bait fish like mackerel, sardine, and squid. A TIG-welded solid stainless steel ring gives superior strength and no corrosion. It's digital, so Pacific Lures can do custom jigs too. Buy online at PacificLures.com or selected retailers. That's PacificLures.com.
For local and long-range fishing, the Islander out of Fisherman's Landing is a favorite among seasoned or novice anglers. But Islander Charters is much more than great fishing. They also do incredible Guadalupe white shark diving trips as well as a schedule of kayak mothership trips. You need to check out the Islander on their website, islander-charters.com. The Islander is San Diego's leader when it comes to 2 to 5 day fishing. Watch the website for trips and adventures available. Experience the Islander difference. Visit islander-charters.com for all the details.
It's time for our Power Pro 30-second seminar. And I tell you what, with Power Pro, what I like about it is the knot strength. You tie a knot with Power Pro, whether it be a John Collins knot, an Albright knot, back-to-back uni, they hold and work with Power Pro.
Yeah, the line is just not stiff. It's the perfect amount of round. It has good abrasion resistance, and it's just easier for connections than other types of line out there.
Indeed. Power Pro at your favorite tackle store or check out PowerPro.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
Phones are packed. If you want to get through, keep on trying. 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. We're giving away $200 assortments and shirt and hat from Cory and MC Swimbaits. Thanks for that generous offering there, Cory. Let's jump into it, Rick.
You got it, man. How about we talk to Dave, who's calling us from Spring Valley this morning. Good morning, Dave. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys, and thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, you got it, Dave.
What a real treat to have Cory on today. I mean, that guy just gave you one of the biggest tips that any plastic guy would love to have. and that is putting that line at the front of the chingazo there.
Yeah.
You know,
no doubt.
So that is a game changer. I don't tell my buddies when I fish with them. and of course, who's catching all the fish? So thank you for sharing that, Cory. Thank you for your dedication to this fishing community. You are the man for plastics.
Well, I don't know. Well, I appreciate that, Dave. I mean, that's very kind. You know, probably the second thing I could give you would probably be more important is super glue. You know,
super glue.
And you traditionally wouldn't hear that from a manufacturer to lengthen the life of your product. You know, but if you super glue your tails to the head, they'll triple last you too.
Triple,
Dave. Like, well, at least double for
kidding.
sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Until the tail gets ripped off or something.
Yeah.
But
the tail gets ripped off, there's no turning back.
But once you get that separation from the tail to the head, like if you have a quarter inch of a space, they just won't eat it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've experienced it.
Yeah.
You know, they just won't. For whatever reason, they don't like
Once
it.
they pull it off that head, and every time you cast it, that thing's going to still fall down.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
So, all right. Good tip. Thanks a lot. Appreciate the call, Dave.
All right. How about next up, we talked to Paul, who's got us some bellflower this morning. Good morning, Paul. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, gentlemen. How's everybody doing today?
Great.
Cory, how did you get your start in the swim bait industry?
Well,
and
yeah.
Before you do that, my favorite swim bait is the grunion one.
Oh, green grunion.
So good. I think that's the one Rick was describing earlier. That with that like brownish, like teal glittered back with a bright teal lateral line, and clear salt and pepper at the bottom.
Yeah, love it.
I caught a large halibut with that swim bait, if you could believe that one, during the grunion run.
Yeah, I do believe it actually. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like good times for sure. But
Worked great.
I'll give you a little background history, like I did with the working on the bait barge and 12 years on the bait boats, and always. I mean, as a kid, I hear Kenny from Hawaiian Gardens call in often, and I grew up right on the edge of Hawaiian Gardens, and all my buddies, were there, and I went to Hawaiian Elementary, Artesia High School, and grew up right there. We'd ride our bikes from there. Okay, you live kind of near there, you know. We'd ride our BMX bikes from there down the river channel all the way to Belmont Pier and Seal Beach Pier every day. And we lived it and loved it. And we'd hop on. The big adventure was getting on the Annie B barge. Okay, the barge inside the harbor there.
So rad.
And you had unlimited anchovy use, and there was bonito out there, and it was just.
How much did it cost to get on the barge?
I don't even remember, to be honest with you.
Like
I don't.
$1 or something. Or...
It was pretty inexpensive, you know. And there's guys that'll remember that whole thing, the Annie B barge, and just I mean that. So growing up like that, and then coming down to San Diego and working on the barge and working on the bait boats, I'm telling you, I love the inshore fishery. I love offshore. You could put me on a crappie bite. You could put me on a tuna bite. I'd have the time of my life. But,
you like fishing.
But period.
Yeah.
Okay. But my heart is with the calico bass, the spotted bay bass, the halibut fishing, anything inshore. I absolutely, hands down, love it. And the same type of fishing translates exactly to freshwater fishing.
Totally.
I'm telling you. Exactly. Same exact techniques for calico fishing is for the largemouth, green bass. And I grew up on El Dorado Park Lakes.
Right.
I was a mile away, and we'd ride our bikes there all the time. But so, loving the inshore and then making the baits, and it was a handful of years of making the baits myself, and then I went into business. First shop I was in, Leroy put him in at Seaforth Sport Fishing.
That's rad.
And I worked there for like 5 years prior to that, and had a good time doing that too. But so I've been a part of the industry at some angle or another, and knowing the connections and making the lures.
And what year did you start MC Swimbaits?
In 1999, I got the business license, and so I've had it since. And seriously, it's a dream job. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm doing what I do, and I go to El Salto, and we just had the Shogun skiff trip.
Right.
And I mean, fishing calico bass down the stretch of Baja. I mean, it's a dream, and I'm very thankful to people like you that allow me to have that.
Oh, yeah. Now, what happens to production at MC Swimbaits when you go to El Salto for a week?
Exactly. I mean, it just comes to a halt, right? I mean,
you pour your butt off before and after. And
it is. So, I mean, it's not an easy gig. I mean,
what are you doing when you go home today after the show?
You think?
Yeah. Pouring baits, right?
I mean, it's a tough life. It really is. And I do work my tail off.
Yeah, I know
people
you
that know me.
No doubt.
Yeah. No, seriously, if you missed the beginning of the show, I posted a picture of Brandon and Cory just came back from Lake El Salto on Thursday, and check it out. It's on our Facebook,
awesome.
Let's Talk Hookup radio show, as well as our Instagram, Hookup1090. Check that out. Hey, nice to hear from you. Thanks a lot for the call this morning, Paul.
All right, let's jump right back into the phones. This time we're going to talk to Dave, calling us from Anza. Hi, Dave. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Say, Cory, I'm going at the end of this month on the Let's Talk Hookup Sabro sport fishing trip down there, and I saw you at the Fred Hall show. I told you about the trip. You set me up with a whole bag full of your swim baits there. I also bought those Eagle Claw Tozar hooks you like to use, the weedless hooks. You showed me how to rig those up. You have a special technique for it. I kind of need a refresher on it. Is there a YouTube on that might show me the right technique for rigging those up?
I'm sure there is, Dave, and good to hear from you, by the way. I saw Dave down at the Shogun Skiff Trip Departure, and it was good to see you down there with your two dogs walking along the boardwalk.
That was me. Dogs go everywhere.
So those hooks, okay, whether it's the Eagle Claw like you're talking about, or the Gamakatsu, like a lot of the baits I make fit Gamakatsus too. And if you're using the Gamakatsus, change the springs out to a centering pin, like a large spring. It'll really anchor nicely and help you out. On Eagle Claw ones, you don't have to worry about it. They have a very robust spring.
Okay.
And just point that spring into the head of the bait, wind the thing on, and put the hook through the bait so there's no slack or no tension. You just measure it up, look at the hook on the outside of the bait before you put the hook through the bait. Look at it where it's relaxed. I put my thumb right there, so I have a mark, and then bring your hook through the bottom, 90 degrees straight
There's
up
a little
and down.
slit in the bottom.
There is,
right?
absolutely, yeah. Yep.
And
Dave, I mean, next time have me rig them up. I mean, that's a lot of the guys come to the show just for that purpose. They want to buy 20 baits and have every single
Cory
one of
rig
them
'em.
rigged up. Yeah.
Now, when you put the hook through, you want to make sure you go through the center, right?
Well, and that's where that slit at the
is,
bottom will line you up that direction.
Yeah.
But to line it up in the axes with the other direction, you just lay the hook softly where it's most relaxed.
Okay.
And put your thumb.
And kind of make a mark there so you know where to go through.
90 degrees straight up and down.
Straight up and down.
Yeah.
And if you went to a good shop like you mentioned, Dana Landing, East County Bait and Tackle, those guys do it all the time, and I'm sure would be, you went in and saw Johnny, saw any of those guys, they're gonna, show you exactly what you're talking about. Plenty easy to do with very little effort on your part, but once you get the technique down, you're gonna have a perfectly straight rigged bait all the time.
Yeah, and it's most important to have it straight. It truly is, Dave. So, if it's not, and that's where if you have tension, it's going to be overly straight and have weird things going on. Trust me. And if it's got too much slack, you're going to see like a funky bend in the bait.
And it's not going to swim straight.
It won't.
Yeah.
No.
So just take a little time and just do it properly. And once you get the technique down, it's not that hard.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
It is.
You talked about importance of super glue on a lead head and a swim bait. Does that have any factor on those weedless style baits with that big screw, or does the screw do such a good job holding that bait that you don't need to worry about it?
You're right, Rick. The super glue is really non-existent with the swim bait style hooks, weighted swim bait hooks with the spring in the front.
Don't need it.
And the Gamakatsus, they do have a decent spring, but if you buy the larger centering pin springs and replace them, you'll be very, very happy, because that's truly your anchor. I mean, that's your connection to your soft plastic.
I can't get over how many fish you can catch on an 8-inch MC swim baits weedless bait.
Unreal.
And Cory said that a long time ago when he first gave them to us. We were going down to Cedros and skiff trips, and he said that a lot of times you'll wear the spring out before you actually even wear the bait out, and it's the case. And then when I know you were a big part of making those super heavy duty springs, like you put a heavy duty spring on a good hook and one of those baits, you will be blown away at how many fish. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, you are right. And that heavy duty spring, you're right. I mean, that's something I helped him out with, and it's super, super heavy duty.
Now, does that weedless bait work when there's no kelp?
It does, actually.
Yeah.
It works very, very well.
Okay.
And it, a lot of the, I mean, you have to judge it, and if you know where the kelp's at, that's all you need to know. Or if you're fishing up shallow with the boiler rocks and that kind of thing, like at Cedros or San Clemente Island on your kayak trip or something like that, you know, I mean, it works well. Money.
That's yet another, like all these things. Cory develops so many things for this fishery. And I know you were real big on getting a weedless style swim bait hook with a much heavier lead than, the norm on those is very, very light, right? 1/8 ounce and 1/4 ounce. And I know you were big in the development of a 3/4. And so now you start talking 3/4 ounce of lead. That's like fishing a lead head. You can fish that thing anywhere. Now you can take a bait that we're traditionally just fishing on the kelp canopy, and you can fire that thing into a hard bottom, fairly shallow, and you're swimming a 3/4 ounce weight down there.
You say that, and it's kind of funny because Eric that writes for Bloody Decks, he sent me a picture of like a nice 6-pound, 7-pound sand bass, a very nice size sand bass that they caught in 80 foot of water
on a weedless,
with a 3/4
totally.
ounce weighted swim bait hook and the weedless swim bait.
Hey, you know what? I understand too. Yellowtail eat them too.
They do.
Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we got another full hour coming your way. Plus, we're going to check in with the catch reports, find out what's biting there. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
I got my line. The season is here. It's time to go fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. The hottest new reel for inshore or offshore fishing is the Shimano Tranx 300 and 400. With 2 gear ratios, power handle or paddle handle, the new Tranx fills the gap for small and powerful level wind reels. Everyone knows how great the Shimano Tranx 500 is, so now you have it all. Fisherman's Landing Tackle has the all-new Tranx models in stock and ready to fish. Visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego or on the web at saltwatertackle.com. Fisherman's Landing is the top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hard-working crew is always looking for ways to improve your fishing experience. We offer the finest open party trips, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet. Fisherman's Landing is now a full-service sport fishing operation, offering great half-day and now 3/4-day open party trips. Book online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
What a tuna and yellowtail season last year. Many say the best in 30 years. Could this season be even better? Don't be caught without the right gear. Now is the time to stock up on the trolling lure that proved to be the best. X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Every X-Rap Magnum runs perfect right out of the box. They all have extreme action and a controlled deep diving aggressive swimming motion. The large diving lip partners with premium VMC hooks and an irresistible rattle. The X-Rap Magnum by Rapala can be trolled at high speeds without rolling or kicking out at depths to 15 feet. Bottom line, the X-Rap Magnum is the ultimate trolling lure for Southern California and Baja saltwater fishing. With a textured translucent body, internal holographic foil, and 3D holographic eye, X-Rap Magnums are irresistible to saltwater game fish. Available in a variety of colors and sizes. No matter what you choose, the fish can't resist X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Ask your local tackle dealer which is the hottest color and size and start catching more fish. See the entire line at rapala.com. For decades, the Kona Kai has been considered San Diego's premier marina, resort, and spa. Now, with millions of dollars in upgrades, the Kona Kai Resort is a destination for travelers worldwide who can live it every day. The docks and services are the finest quality in San Diego, and the Kona Kai is the closest marina to the open ocean. As a marina tenant, you enjoy many benefits, including secured free parking, a deluxe health club, swimming pool, and more. Enjoy discounts at their restaurant, bar, and hotel. If you don't have a boat, there are memberships available at a very affordable price. The Kona Kai Club has been offering members a home away from home since 1953. Members can spend their days on Kona Kai's private beach, meet new people in the club's modern lounge, share a meal with family at Bessel Restaurant and Bar, or pamper themselves in Spa Terra. Check out ResortKonakai.com on the web for more information, to reserve a slip, or inquire about joining the club. The Kona Resort, like being on vacation every day in your own backyard.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
San Diego's sports leader. The home of ESPN Radio. The mighty 1090.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
The bluefin are abundant this year, but getting them to bite is another story. But if you're willing to chase them, there's an opportunity to land the catch of a lifetime. Now, getting the deal of a lifetime on a new Ford is much less effort because the gigantic summer sales event is going on now at your San Diego County Ford dealer. Choose from a great selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs and save big on interest charges with 0 APR long-term financing. On top of that, your Ford dealer will give you an additional bonus for your qualified trade. This special offer is available to anyone who gets approved through Ford Motor Credit. You'll also find great deals on new Ford Super Duty, Motor Trend Magazine's 2017 Truck of the Year. So why chase deals all over town when you can land the deal of a lifetime on the new Ford, car, truck, or SUV you've always wanted during the Ford Summer Sales Event? Stop by any San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up. Learn more at buyfordnow.com.